welcome back to the Hour Back Report, episode 16. I'm Jordan, joined by Jamie and Jack. Boys, how we doing tonight?
Yeah, we're 4-0, so of last week, so you gotta love it.
Typical Wednesday win.
Yeah, back on track after the Wednesday loss last week. Much better experience this week. And I don't remember. I was the one who had 3-1, or did we all have 3-1? I just predicted they'd lose to the Mavericks.
Yeah,
right?
And both Jamie and I had tonight as the loss. And when I saw the starting lineup, I felt really confident that I had nailed it.
Yeah, and my rationale for picking the Mavericks game was that we were going to get the random Jalen rest night, and he was given an injury designation tonight, but I think that's probably just glorified rest. But be that as it may, I'm considering my prediction a win because the only game that was like moderately close was the Dallas game. So I'm taking it as a win. As somebody who is often incorrect, I'm taking that one as a win. But yeah, trade deadline is 3 p.m. today at the time of you guys listening to this. A lot has happened. A lot will continue to happen. Some of it involving the Celtics, maybe more of it involving the Celtics by the time we're done recording, by the time this gets uploaded, whatever.
When people are listening to this, they'll know what team Giannis is playing the rest of the season on.
True.
We don't.
Yeah, we have no idea. It's so funny seeing like the reports. Was there the one where was it the Timberwolves could have gotten somebody and they were like, no, because we're leaving
Kobe
room
White.
for Giannis. Yeah, Kobe White. And then Kobe White got traded anyway, right? To Charlotte.
Yeah.
Who like having a pretty damn good deadline. I mean, they're having a pretty damn good like stretch play. I had to sweat out a money line bet on them the other day against the Pelicans, but yeah. We'll get into deadline stuff in a little bit. We're gonna kind of give a quick rundown of these 4 games. I mean, nothing really crazy, but we did get the Anfernee Simons swan song game against Milwaukee. We'll talk about that a little bit, but we'll quickly touch on the Sacramento Kings game from last Friday. The end of my strike against attending Celtics games. I figured I tried to grift for a win with Jack early in the season against Utah. Did not work. We went with the same strategy. We did not abandon the process going against the Kings. I got quite intoxicated, like not 100% sure I really tracked the entire game, but won by 19. Pretty damn good showing against a really bad team. Jamie, I'll throw it to you first. Your thoughts on that first game?
Yeah, Candace stood out to me. A little double action. And then Simons in one of his last games with the Celtics. I'm sure we all miss talking about him fondly.
We'll get to talk about him next week because the Bulls face the Celtics.
True. And I heard
still a Bull.
I may be making a return to the Garden that night.
I'm also considering Garden return that night. I have that game circled on the calendar.
I think of how much we've talked about Simons, it would be wrong not to be there to show, some moral support.
Is he getting a tribute video?
He's getting a jersey retirement.
The shortest tenured player to get their jersey retired. And we got number 1 retired because of an owner, so we can retire Anfernee Simons' number.
True.
That's cool.
No, I feel like this was a game. I mean, we said it's a Kings team with 12 wins, so you should have won it. But I mean, it's always good to see Kata get a little double-double, especially, I mean, we'll talk about the trade later, but he's been really good this year, so you always love a little double-double, especially what he did tonight. He was a monster again.
Yeah, and one thing that stood out to me, Baylor Shireman was hooping in this game. I mean, he had 16 points, he had 5 boards, he was very efficient, got the start in the game. Yeah, like just generally a very impressive showing again against a really bad team. I mean, the Kings with that loss fell to 3-22 on the road. Just a really, really horrible basketball team. DeMar DeRozan was kept in hell by Sam Hauser in the big 2-6. He was 2 of 10 for 6 points. They really like Levine only got 9 shots up the entire game. I mean, they got boat raced. Like he only played 23 minutes and still got 17 points, but he was awful. There wasn't a player on the Kings other than Maxime Renault that like actually played well. Like Malik Monk went 3 for 14 off the bench. Neek Clifford had 15 points, but he wasn't like super efficient. I mean, the Kings suck. Plain and simple, Kings are terrible. And the Celtics did what good teams do against bad teams, and they beat the daylights out of them. Good bounce back game after losing to the Hawks. Jack, what were some of your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch this whole game because I was too busy being put in hell by BC hockey, sitting in a Agganis Arena, watching BU hockey play like assholes as they have most of the season. It's not been a fun year as a season ticket holder, and less so when you get the email today at work that they're raising the price on season tickets next year for a 12 and 13 hockey team that came into the season ranked preseason number 2. But this isn't a college hockey podcast. But from what I saw, it could be.
Got the buzzwords in.
Yeah. I mean, obviously Pritchard was, the main guy. Jaylen Brown didn't play in Jaylen Brown bobblehead night, which is kind of funny.
James Harden have the bobblehead.
What's up?
I said I do have the bobblehead. I'm gonna go get it.
Nice. James Harden will also not be playing in James Harden bobblehead night, but for different reasons. But they made their threes in general. Hauser and Simons, not so much, but everybody else was hyper efficient from 3. And on the whole, like it's not like those two guys sunk them, especially against a bad team. And they took care of business. Like, yeah, Jaylen was out, but at home against a Kings team that's horrible without Sabonis, like you shouldn't lose to those guys. And they didn't. They, went belt to ass. Michael Irvin would be proud. And good way to start this stretch.
Yeah, I have not opened. Should I open the box? Should we do an unboxing on camera here for the Jaylen Brown bobblehead?
This is going to get people to check out the YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. This is the kind of content you can only get on YouTube. Is the unboxing of the Jaylen Brown bobblehead. So
people listening on Spotify are in hell right now.
They are right there next to DeMar DeRozan in hell. There you have it.
I mean, the facial expression is perfect.
It's actually like for as shitty as a lot of like memorabilia has become over the years, this is actually a pretty damn good bobblehead. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I messed with it.
The Chara one at his jersey retirement was really bad. Not good.
It's pretty hard to. I feel like it's pretty hard to get those to be like actually decent.
Yeah.
I mean, we see how bad people are with statues. I mean, we're not far enough removed from the Dwayne Wade statue for that to be out of people's minds. But yeah, really weird to have a Jaylen Brown bobblehead night and not actually see Jaylen Brown play. Like, very weird. But I did see that there are other bobblehead nights this season. It's actually on the box. It tells you who else is getting a bobblehead.
And that Bulls game is one of them next week.
True. Yeah, Kuz. The Kuz bobblehead night. Maybe I should make an appearance each of these games. Who knows? Just to get all the bobbleheads for the season. I'm gonna try and close.
Go live from the Garden.
Live from the Garden. Do you guys think we'll get
live from the North Station Corral?
Do you think we'll get credentialed? What do you think? Should I try?
I think now that we took the bobblehead out, I think that raises the
likelihood.
Yeah,
it's possible. But yeah, have we got the Kuz next week? We got Red Auerbach on March 16th, Paul Pierce on the 22nd. So if you go to 2 games that week, you could get a Red Auerbach and a Paul Pierce bobblehead. That actually, I mean, Tatum on April 7th is definitely another one that I'd want to get. But if I could only get one more, I think the Pierce one is the one for me to go obtain. Although the Red Auerbach one's probably going to be sick because it's probably going to be him smoking a friggin' cigar, and it's going to be so sick. But anyway, this is not a bobblehead podcast.
It could be.
It could be, but it's not. It is not. Any final thoughts on this abomination of a game? Oh, actually, I do have one more. So I've been to 2 games this year. Chris Boucher has played in both of them, and Chris Boucher has had 3 in both of them. So if I had a nickel, I'd have 2 nickels, which is wild. It's not a lot, but it's wild. It happened twice. He just went in and just decided he wanted to shoot so many times. It actually pissed Russell Westbrook off, but like, you signed with the Kings. That's your own fault, my guy. But yeah, taking a 3 as time expired with a 16-point lead is so shameless. But I mean, I don't know. It was probably his swan song with the Celtics.
Yeah, he's so good.
I've never seen somebody more traded that played for the Celtics. And we were talking about trading Simons literally all season.
We were trading him from like the week after we got him.
Yeah, honestly, the hour after we got him, it was because this was supposed to be a retooling year all along. It was, oh yeah, Simons is gonna ball out, put some butts in seats for like 3 months, and then you trade him to duck under the tax. We'll get into the specifics of the deal later on because we do have to talk about his last game as a Boston Celtic because he won them this basketball game against Milwaukee. He was fantastic against the Bucks. Bucks started on a 12-0 run, and because of Anfernee Simons, the Celtics went into, or the first quarter ended with a 26-26 tie. I think Simons had 11 points in the first quarter. It had me not wanting to trade him. I'm not gonna lie, because it's like this man could actually like win you basketball games. Finished 27 points, 6 of 10 from 3, 10 of 18 overall. Just 3 boards and 1 assist. But I mean, he was other than Jaylen, the game high scorer, outscoring everybody on the Bucks, including the daunting Ryan Rollins over there in Milwaukee. Jack, what are some of your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's another situation of Milwaukee's a disaster right now. And I know you got gamed by them earlier while they were a disaster. You can't let it happen again, especially at the Garden, and they didn't. And like, on the whole, they shot really well again. Sam Hauser notwithstanding. Sam Hauser 1 for 7 from 3, 1 for 9 total. Not a great night to be Sam Hauser.
I think he went 1 for 22 against the Bucks in these 2 games against them this season.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with Sam in these Bucks games. And like, because they blew them out, like he still finished a plus 20 for the game in spite of being pretty horrible. But you know, Jaylen and Simons were kind of just a 2-man thing that scored 57 of your 107 points, and everybody else just kind of contributed. And you know, it's a situation where, yeah, this Milwaukee team without Giannis, there's not a lot of firepower here. Like Ryan Rollins is not going to put you in hell. Hopefully, they don't even have Kevin Porter at the moment, who. It's crazy that guy keeps getting second chances in spite of his off-court behavior. But he put ball in net, so I guess it's okay. And you know, you took care of business again at home, and that's what you want to see from this team, especially as like we're progressing towards the playoffs, is like playing against bad teams and just blowing them out.
Yeah. Definitely. We got Thanasis minutes in this one. So Antetokounmpo did play for the Bucks in this game. So anybody that showed up hoping to see Antetokounmpo play, you were in luck.
There's probably like some poor 8-year-old who, like, when they saw Thanasis come in, like was like, yeah, like it's happening. And like their dad didn't have the heart to tell him.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. I was was it Sunday? Was this game Sunday?
That sounds right.
I was Sunday years old when I learned that Larry Nance had another child. Pete Nance.
That's not a real person.
He was there. He had 7 points off the bench. He was 3 of 6 from the floor.
I blacked out that happening. Like I have no memory of that.
He got 18 entire minutes. I only know that Pete Nance played, 1, because I'm looking at the box score, but 2, because Sean Grandy would say his name in its totality. He would say his whole name. and Cedric Maxwell was like, man, he looks a lot like Larry Nance. And Grandy's like, I know what you all are thinking, and I'm going to see how long it takes Max to realize what's going on. I didn't know. I didn't like compute that he was talking about Pete Nance. I thought like I just kept checking out when the first name was mentioned. I thought Larry Nance Jr. was on the Bucks. Like you
Which
could have
would make
fooled me.
sense. He feels like a spiritual Buck.
He does. He does. He often finds himself on teams that are horrible or like on the verge of being horrible. So this would be where Larry Nance Jr. would go.
Yeah, it's been all downhill since his Cavs tenure.
Yeah, he's a mess, but yeah, so he would fit right in here. I mean, like looking at how the Bucks did, like Bobby Portis, who literally didn't miss. I think he missed one shot in the game in December, was 4 of 13. Miles Turner was also awful.
I didn't realize Bobby Portis this year is like one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. Like no one told me that, and I was just randomly on his basketball reference the other day, and he's shooting 45% from 3 on 4 a game.
Were you trying to get him to the Celtics?
Elements of Bobby Portis's
Still got time.
Probably since December when he didn't miss against the Celtics. He's just been riding that wave.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean Bobby Portis is hitting 45% of his threes? He doesn't like, yeah, he's not like a bad shooter by any means, but that's like, you know, Klay Thompson level, like prime Klay Thompson levels. Like, what are we doing? Obviously on less attempts, but
yeah.
Huh?
Truly. Jamie, what were some of your thoughts on this one?
I feel like the same. I mean, this was a team they should have crushed, which they did, and I feel like everyone who thought would go off would, especially Jalen with 30 and Simons leaving us with a parting good last memory. And I know it's just the Bucks, but I feel like they only scored more than 20 points once, which is in the first quarter, and other than that it was 16, 19, 18. So good defensive effort, even though they weren't the most skilled team to go against, but I was going to see them kind of shut them down, I guess not take the night off against a team that they easily could have and probably still would have won by a good amount.
Yeah, for sure. Any final thoughts on this one before we move into the first taste of the Luka Garza, the Cooper flag against the Boston Celtics? That little potential matchup to watch going forward. I
thank you, Anfernee.
Yeah, thanks for the memories.
Yeah.
That see you again montage is gonna go crazy.
We going a minute. We thinking a minute more for the tribute video? Less?
Retweet if you cried. Honestly, I'm tempted to go to that Bulls game. Like just to see. Give him a standing ovation when his name gets announced. He's definitely getting rerouted, right? Like, there's no way that
I put it
Bulls
above
keep
50% for sure. There's a chance like they can't find a way to make the money work, but like because he is getting paid a good amount, and I don't know like what team necessarily wants a Anfernee Simons that like isn't in cap hell, but like he is obviously a useful player. Obviously, I'm just like struggling to find the fit for him off the top of my head.
Yeah, like the Clippers still kind of make some sense, but then that's still like a Zubats salary swap, and I don't think the Clippers, if they're trading for Ant, I don't think they want to trade Zubats. Like,
right, and you'd need.
We'll get into the Harden thing, but
the Bulls don't want Zubac; they're blowing it up. So,
and the Bulls also don't want centers.
Yes, well. And I've had this conversation with you guys in the past where, like, I have watched the Chicago Bulls play 4-point guards and Vucevic lineups and be like, what the actual fuck are we doing? Like, this is not how you construct a team.
It's how you constantly find yourself as the ninth seed.
Yeah, like, the amount of times I throw on a Bulls game and see a starting lineup that's 4-point guards and Vucevic over the past, like, 5 years, because this has been what they are. And I'm like, what the... And it's never the same 4-point guards outside of Kobe White. Everybody else rotates. But, like, it's sure as hell going to be 4-point guards and Vucevic.
They're just like, if we find the right combo 1 year, it will lead to a title.
Like, in college, you can do that. But in the NBA, that's not going to work.
I think I saw a tweet that the Bulls don't have a single guy over 6'8" on the roster.
That can't be true because
they've
what's
won
his name?
center.
Why am I blanking on his name?
He is the
He used to be
whitest
on the
guy
Pacers.
you know.
Jalen
Jalen
Smith.
Smith.
Jalen
But I
Smith
don't.
has to be taller than that, right?
Let me double check that real quick. Maybe it might have been the tweet was 6'10", but I thought it was 6'8". Jalen Smith is 6'8".
He plays bigger than 6'8".
Shoots 38% from three on the year.
Yeah,
Pretty
Zach
decent ball
Collins
player.
is the tallest player on the roster at 6'9". I've seen Zach Collins
Okay,
game
so it
with
must have been
Celtics at
6'9".
TD Garden. That wasn't fun. The Celtics won that
not a
game,
good experience.
but watching Zach Collins' legacy game was crazy. That was the game when Jaylen Brown dropped 47, and then people were like, he didn't acknowledge the fans. It was at that game when they got gamed by Zach Collins.
Man, the Bulls, even when they had the only time the Bulls had somebody over 6'9" this season was the 45 seconds they employed Dario Saric.
And they were a glorious 45 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then they're like, all right, that's enough.
I always thought Dario Saric was going to be better than he was.
Yeah, he was okay.
Yeah, but I when he was first coming over from Europe, because he stayed in Europe forever, and every year the Sixers were like, maybe he's gonna come over, and then he didn't for 3 years, which I don't blame him. Skipping the process is a brilliant idea, but I was like, oh, he's gonna be a good stretch four who's athletic enough to play defense, and he is, but I don't know. I thought the ceiling was higher for Saric than it ever turned out being.
Yeah, I thought he'd be kind of like a rich man's Ersan Ilyasova, because Ersan had a decent career, but I thought Saric would be better than him, but similar archetype, and he ended up being worse than freaking Bang Bang Niang. That's crazy. What was your favorite Georges Niang highlight? Which instance of him as an employee of the Boston Celtics shitting on the Celtics fan base was your favorite? Oh, man. I mean, I guess the Bulls don't need anybody tall if Yuki Kawamura's winning tips at 5'7", so, hey. I don't know. Weird-ass sport. Weird-ass team. That's how you
And they
always
don't even
deny
have
it.
Vucevic anymore, which is a shame, because the hilarious starting lineup of Trey Jones, Jaden Ivey, Colin Sexton, Anfernee Simons, and Vucevic was right there.
They literally were setting themselves up to only be able to run 4-point guards and Nick Vucevic. Vucevic was going to get 48 minutes a game if Brad Stevens did not save him. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, heading into Celtics versus Mavericks. Celtics. This is the only game that was moderately close of these four. We got a little taste of Eastern Conference Finals. Caleb Martin with a 5 of 10 shooting night. Starts shaking. Cooper Flag was awesome. And the rest of the Mavericks team was #not. But it stayed close. Derek White wasn't efficient. Baylor Shireman was 1 of 5. Pritchard came off the bench, which your reward for trading your backup is you actually become the backup now. Is kind of hilarious.
But it's so Missoula.
It is very Missoula. And they asked him about it before the game tonight, and he was like, no, I didn't tell him he was coming off the bench. We had a mutual conversation. What does that even mean? What does that mean?
Joe finishes watching the Times all right, we need to have a heart-to-heart real quick.
Oh, man. But yeah, I'll throw it to you first, Jack. What are your thoughts on this one with the Dallas Mavericks and your first look at Cooper Flag against the Celtics?
He's really good.
He is.
And Flag is a player who I always it. To me, he seemed like almost a no-risk kind of prospect, obviously barring injuries, and there's always weird shit that can happen. But when you looked at Flag's player profile and what he did at Duke in his first year, and how prolific of an athlete he is, and how dominant he was in high school, and the way at Duke he was further along in a lot of his development than a lot of people even thought he would be in his one and done year. Like, he's a clear, no questions asked number one pick. And if there wasn't a Victor Wembanyama, like outside of him in the past like 10 years, he's probably the clearest number one pick, unless I'm blanking on someone. And yeah, he's awesome. The shooting is still going to need to develop, and it's a work in progress there. He did shoot 2 for 4 against us, but like the 3-pointer needs to develop more. But that was always the case. We always knew the shooting is going to be a work in progress with him. But the way he just has seemingly like unlimited motor on both ends, he'll crash the glass. He's playing hard on defense. He's reading passing lanes, and the guy can score and can attack and is athletic as hell and is blocking shots. Like, he's everything you want in a franchise player at his age. And it's why, like, as much as people make fun of Nico Harrison and make fun of Dallas, and not that the Luka trade was good by any means, like they obviously should have gotten more, especially when we get into what they got for Anthony Davis out of it. Like, I would rather have Cooper Flag than Luka Doncic as the centerpiece of my team. And I said that then, and I still stand by. Because I don't have the fears with Flag that you have with Luka about the conditioning, about the lack of motor on defense. With Flag, like, it's a guy who you're like, yeah, this is a guy who I think can be my franchise player, and there are no red flags, really. The shooting is going to happen eventually, and even if it doesn't, he's showing he can score efficiently and effectively while the shooting kind of sucks. Even if he gets passable and not even good at it, he's only going to get better. And you look at a guy like Giannis, not that he has the unlimited athletic potential of Giannis. Giannis has never really developed the jump shot, and he's still obviously, the third best player in the league. And one thing I was thinking about is, I wonder, because obviously Flag grew up a Celtics fan. I wonder when he got to training camp this year and saw Caleb Martin, he was like, I hate this guy.
Instant beef.
And not even just Caleb Martin, but also Klay Thompson.
Yeah, but at least like
to a lesser degree,
there might be like respect there, because it's like Klay Thompson's a Hall of Famer. He's one of the greatest.
You don't think Caleb Martin's a Hall of Famer?
Well, in basketball, anyone could be. That I will say. In basketball,
Tony Dungy voted for Caleb Martin for the NFL Hall of Fame just so he didn't have to vote for Bill Belichick.
Yeah, it's possible. Tony Dungy did vote for Caleb Martin instead of Bill Belichick.
And instead of Robert Kraft.
Yeah. But
not a Patriots.
That thought came in my head of like, I wonder if he just like saw Caleb Martin on that first day of practice, was like, I fucking hate this guy.
They're just running like fives, and they're just like doing scrimmages, and he's like, I am guarding Caleb Martin. Like, he's looking at him like Game 6, 2012 LeBron. Just got that look in his eyes that is the reason Caleb Martin regressed this year as a Dallas Maverick. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, the ultimate lottery bailout of all time for the Mavericks, but they're going to end up the beneficiary of trading one of the best offensive talents this game has ever seen. I mean, I guess the jury's still out on where he'll rank all time when all's said and done, but like, he's trending in that direction for sure. Jamie, your thoughts on this one?
Well, Luka Garza, Ray Allen he went 4 for 4 from 3 with 16. I did not have that on my bingo card, especially after watching some of the 3-pointers he attempted tonight. So I guess good to see him kind of be automatic from 3 for once. And then you had Jalen again with 33, 11 rebounds. He kind of balled out. I feel like this was, a team you should have won, but it's good to see kind of Garza. And I also personally watched mostly just see Flag, just because I feel like anytime you can have your chance to see him on the TV screen, you got to take advantage. So it was good to kind of see that.
Yeah, Luka Garza is such a weird player. Like, nothing about him is good, but like, you add it all up and like, you get like a decent basketball player. Like, he doesn't really do anything exceptionally well except get offensive rebounds. And then like this year, he's just shooting the shit out of the ball. It doesn't make any sense, but he's like an animal. And like, I find myself enjoying Luka Garza minutes.
Now that there's no more Simons, he has become the new one we debate weekly now. He
Yeah,
has to take that mantle.
Yeah, I wonder how long. I wonder what his role is going to look like when Vucevic is finally in the building. What's that going to look like? Because I don't know if they necessarily have the room to play three centers. I mean, we'll get into kind of how Vucevic fits in a little bit, but it'll be interesting to see how his role kind of develops or deteriorates. In the it feels similar to trading Pritchard's backup and then making Pritchard the backup. Garza has been awesome, and it's yeah, your reward for being awesome is you're getting 4 minutes a game. That's fucked, man. But it is what it is. I mean, Josh Minot was getting starts early in the season, and now he's in the doghouse. So it is what it is. The Celtics are just way better than they thought they were going to be, I think. Except for Joe Mazzulla.
And I know this is tonight game, but that first quarter air ball by Minot was one of the ugliest shots I've seen
that was
in a
tough.
long time.
It was not great. And he's when I say he's taking advantage of his opportunities, it's not in a sense that he's getting limited minutes and he's playing really well. He's getting limited minutes and he's how many shots can I fire up in a short span? So we'll just segue right into the Rockets game because this game was hilarious. But yeah, Minot did not play well in this one. But you know who did play well? Ron Harper Jr.
Rutgers legend.
He outplayed Kevin Durant. What?
He's better.
I mean, his family's got more rings, so
it does.
True.
He has championship DNA.
He does. What were you about to say, Jamie?
Would say, so we going Ron Harper over? Is that the next jersey to be retired?
13. I mean, it's definitely doing a lot to make me forget about James Young's tenure with the Celtics. I don't think anyone's worn 13 between James Young and Ron Harper Jr. unless I'm missing somebody obvious.
I feel like there has to be someone.
There's got to be somebody, but I can't picture. Torrey Craig wore 12. Enes Kanter Freedom wore 11. So did Kyrie. Evan Turner wore 11.
Malcolm Brogdon.
Brogdon wore 13. You're right. You're right. I don't know why I thought he was 19 or something. I don't know. Maybe he wore it with another team. But yeah, he was awesome tonight. I think it's one of the funniest developments of this season is Joe Mazzulla, when a guy is unavailable in the starting lineup, not going to an ordinary bench guy. You'd think Jalen's out. It's okay, maybe Pritchard's back in the lineup tonight. Nope. Ron Harper Jr. gets the start. And then he balls out. He was awesome in this game. Jack, what were some of your thoughts on this one?
This is hilarious. Joe unleashed his inner Alex Cora and said, "This is the last game for a second. I'm just gonna fuck around and submit the weirdest starting lineup I can. Mickey Gasper is gonna hit leadoff, and we're gonna see what happens." And it worked, which sometimes happens in those Cora Puns lineup games. And it was just really funny. I mean, I think, not to turn this into head coach propaganda, but I think tonight was really a showcase in why, as brutal in the moment as the Ime stuff was, and having to assemble a 4-person coaching staff at the last possible minute, it all ended up. Oh, I died for a second, it seems.
You're good.
Oh, okay. They're way better off with Mazzulla than they were with Udoka, because with Ime, you had a lot of those moments where they would play down a competition, or they'd kind of just have the same not locked in stuff that would happen under Brad and stuff, which especially late era Brad. But now it's and obviously, no team's perfect. The Celtics have plenty of games where they play like jackasses. But on the whole, like these Missoula teams like don't like completely quit on a game before it starts. They'll quit after a quarter sometimes, but they will never quit before the game begins. And it seems like the Rockets just didn't want to play today. And that they saw a lineup that had Ron Harper Jr. and Luka Garza in it. And they were like, we're going to win by 40, so why try? And a Missoula coached team isn't going to do that.
Yeah, that's very true. I went to take a shower at halftime because they were up 7. I'm like, I'm gonna come back. This game's gonna the Rockets are gonna already be up like 3 or 4 by the time I come back. And I heard like the crowd reacting in the background, and I thought the Rockets went on a run. And then I like walk out of the bathroom and I hear Celtics are rolling. I look at the score. I'm like, they're up 16. What? Like I thought for sure that the first half was going to be some sort of mirage, and it was like, oh, that was fun. Like it did enough for me to be like, all right, like maybe the depth of this team is better than I give it credit for. That like you can have Jalen not play, and literally anybody else. Like Hauser didn't play tonight. Obviously Pritchard again coming off the bench, and still compete with a very good Rockets team, which had the second best home record in the NBA entering tonight, 17-4. And no, they just spanked them. Like Ime got himself thrown out of the game. So did Alperen Şengün. Like it was just a masterclass in not being prepared to play basketball and then deciding, well, we lost. Let me just get a hefty fine while I'm at it. Like what the hell was going on with the Rockets? It was like sometimes you'll watch certain players or certain teams behave in a certain way and you're like, this is a sign that they're not going to win at all. Like I watched the Rockets tonight. I'm like, this right here is proof that they are not going to win a ring this year. It's just they're not mature enough. They can't handle getting punched in the face without like literally resorting to crying and getting ejected. And attitude reflects leadership. Like Ime is a good coach, but he's also like a massive asshole at the same time for several reasons we don't have to relitigate. But yeah, absolute beatdown in Houston. Second out of a back-to-back, killed them. Jamie, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I was surprised when they sent the opening lineup. I thought I was going to watch the Bruins first because I thought this was going to be a blowout. And then after the first quarter, I was like, oh, this is actually a game, and the Bruins are blowing another lead, so I'm going to switch to the Celtics. And they just took it to him. I mean, Sharman looked good, too, with a double-double. Harper was having, like, his legacy game. Durant looked – I was surprised at how bad Durant looked, especially, I think, like, through the second quarter, he's, like, 1 for 6, which I was not expecting. But it was good to see with like the JV lineup, just how those guys come out and ball and kind of take it to them, especially on the road too. It's not like they were out the Garden doing that. So I feel like when we look back at like their best one of this, or some of their best one of the season, this one's going to stick out because they obviously could have just thrown it in. But JV guys are like, this is our time to shine, and we're going to 40-piece the Rockets on their own home court and get their coaches ejected while doing it.
Scal made a very fascinating point as well, or maybe it was Drew Carter. It was somebody on the broadcast. Like the deadline's still looming large. Like there are guys on this team, and granted, I think probably the only guys that are really in danger of losing their status in the organization are probably Xavier Tillman and Chris Boucher. Boucher with like the 37th DNP personal reasons of the season. They've been trying to trade that guy for weeks. But like Baylor Shireman's a movable salary, and he's still on his rookie deal. He's shown flashes of being like a pretty good basketball player this season. He went out in 23 minutes, like you said, Jamie had a double-double, like a efficient shooting night. It was 3 of 8 from 3. Like Baylor's funny because when he misses, like he makes the misses count. Like there's some ugly misses. He doesn't like rattle out any shots. They're the most disgusting misses of all time, or the shots just butter. It makes no sense. But we're starting to see that little bit of Joe Ingles that we saw when he got drafted out of Creighton, which is just code for white boy with a 3-point shot, but we're not going to compare him to Manu because that's ridiculous. Or white lefty with a 3-point shot. But Yeah, they had Kevin Durant in hell. They had Ime Udoka in hell. They had Alperen Şengün in hell. I mean, Kevin Durant, as bad as he was, still led the Rockets in scoring with 15. That is insane. The Celtics had 3 guys outscore Kevin Durant, and Baylor Shireman tied him. Crazy. And Ron Harper didn't outscore him, but he outplayed him. He was more efficient, had more rebounds. He only didn't outscore him, but he only trailed him by 4 points. And then Nimi had 19 rebounds tonight. What an animal.
Yeah, like I know we talked about it a little before we started recording, but like I think this is the best game of Nimi's career to this point, and I've been like shaking ass for Keita all season and being like, this guy is the only reason this team is any good, because if you take him off this team and leave the rest of the roster the same, like the big man minutes are kind of a disaster, because like, yeah, you've gotten better production out of Garza, especially as of late. But if you were having to rely on Amari or on Boucher or on Tillman to make up a lot of those minutes, or just running small ball all the time with Minot or with Walsh or with whoever, Baylor, whatever you wanted to do, this team is not second in the East. They're probably at best 5th or 6th. And, you know, Keita has really proven, like, we could be getting aggressive soon. Like, is Keita like a top 15 big in the league? It's possible. Like, it really is, especially with how like top heavy that position can be and how injury prone a lot of those guys are. It's like he's really proven that like he belongs and he can be a starting player on a championship team. So I'm really happy for him.
I think I don't remember who it was, but they did like a model for how players are playing relative to their salary. And like Nemish Keita is playing at like a $33 million surplus. He's making like 5 mil this year, and he's playing at like a $38 million level, according to that. I don't remember his name. I apologize to that individual for not having his name. I should have saved it as a bookmark or something on my computer. But yeah, Nemi's balling out. And again, similar to Garza, but like to a grander scale, because Nemi's obviously been starting. It must suck for him to be like, Nikola Vucevic is coming in. That's going to steal some of my, I don't want to say thunder, but like, I don't know. It diminishes his role a little bit, even if they go the double big lineup, which I think tonight was kind of a soft launch of that, because they did roll the double big with Garza, and like Vucevic doesn't play like Garza, but he's close enough in the sense he's going to take a lot of threes. So they're probably going to treat Vooch as a stretch 4, if I had to guess. We'll get into that shortly, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Nemi can coexist to be kind of like a baby Rob Williams, free safety kind of defender at the rim, and just grab every fucking rebound under the sun, which would be cool, because early in the season, the rebounding was a massive issue. Tonight, they killed the Rockets on the glass. I think
Houston's a very big team.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have Steven Adams, who's one of the best rebounders in basketball, but like the leading rebounder was Şengün with 9, and then they had Clint Capella off the bench at 5, and Durant had 5. The Celtics got 19 from Nemi, and then there was still 10 for Baylor and 9 for Ron Harper Jr. And then Garza added 6. It's like they were just, I mean, they out rebounded the Rockets 57-38. I would not have, after the matchup that the Celtics had with Houston early in the season, I would not have expected that kind of turnaround. I mean, especially with the lineup that they ran out there tonight. Maybe if Jalen played, you could sell me on it. But like, again, Ron Harper Jr. started this game, and they out rebounded the Rockets by 19 and won by 21. Ridiculous. All right. Any final thoughts before we roll into trade deadline discourse? All right. Let's talk about the one trade the Celtics have made so far. We've danced around it a lot, but the Boston Celtics second round pick swap with the Chicago Bulls, and they also traded Anfernee Simons for Nikola Vucevic. So Anfernee Simons, the most traded Celtic maybe in recent history, other than maybe Chris Boucher, is now a Chicago Bull. For how long, we don't know, but Nikola Vucevic is a Boston Celtic, and he will be for the rest of the season. I'll throw it to you first, Jamie. Your initial reaction to the trade and kind of how you think Vucevic will fit in here.
I like that. I mean, I feel like the one area they need to upgrade was another big compared to the other spots on the roster. And I feel like Simons is a guy that we all thought was going to get traded before the season started. It was kind of the most logical one when we looked at the roster. So I like that they upgraded the big. Even if that does cut into Kate a little bit, I feel like that means you have to rely less on Garza. And I feel like Vucevic is just more a proven guy, especially with them probably going to be in the playoffs with where they are now. So I just feel like it sets them up better with the big and getting, Simon's contract and actually getting something of value for moving that contract.
Jack, what was your initial reaction to this trade?
Well, it finally happened that, on both ends, because I think we talked about it last week that, many moons ago, it was Kemba or Vooch. Which one are they going to get? Because they lost Kyrie and they lost Horford and they could sign one max free agent. And is it going to be Kemba Walker or is it going to be Vucevic? And it was obviously Kemba. At the time, I actually leaned Vucevic just because I thought they needed a big more than they needed a guard. But they obviously went with Kemba. It was good until his knees stopped bending. And
I'll never forgive Nick Nurse for that.
Yeah, and now they've completed the prophecy. And Vooch is a Celtic, and Simons, who, as you said, is the most traded Celtic in a long time, is no longer one. I think, it gives them more lineup flexibility than they had with Simons because the double big stuff is now an option where I think they shied away from double big stuff with Keita and Garza, especially due to the fact that they don't really have another big that they're confident in. Because if you ever have to take both of them off the court, then you're screwed. And now with Vooch, you can do minutes where Keita plays with either one of those guys. I doubt they're going to want Vucevic and Garza on the court together. That sounds scary.
God, I hope not.
Maybe it might happen accidentally for 2 minutes and it will be watching guys run in slow motion. But you could now play Keita with another big, which is something that, the Celtics have liked doing, going back to Brad, where he would do Horford and Baines, and you had Horford and Rob minutes, and Horford and Kristaps minutes, and Cornette playing with other bigs. This has been a thing the Celtics have tried to do and optimized doing. And it's been out of their toolkit this year because they only had 1.5 bigs, and now they have 2.5 bigs. So that's good. And I also think it's another sign that Tatum is playing this year. And I know there's all the smoke. Oh, maybe he's not, he's thinking about, which I don't buy for a minute. But notwithstanding that, they're trading scoring punch in Simons that you might need without Tatum to get a guy who figures to factor in well with Tatum as an all 3 levels scoring center. So I think it locks in the fact that Jayson Tatum is playing basketball this year, barring a setback.
Yeah, that last part that you said was kind of where my mind went initially. I was a little bit underwhelmed. Maybe it's because we talked for weeks about it being Zubats that they'd get for Anfernee Simons, and we're kind of dancing around Nick Claxton was somebody that they could maybe pursue. But I think one thing I saw, and it's kind of, this trade's not even official yet. It's not it hasn't been announced by either team. The 2 players that we know are going to be traded are Anfernee Simons and Nik Vucevic, but it might end up being more. Who knows? Maybe the Bulls really like Chris Boucher because they need a center. Maybe they like Xavier Tillman because they want to have multiple centers. Who knows? They have a million point guards, and the Celtics could probably stand to benefit from getting another guard. And I don't really want to look at the buyout market for Mike Conley, who did get rerouted, right? I don't remember where he got traded.
Yeah,
to.
He was in the Kobe White deal.
Right. So he's with Charlotte. So he'll get bought out by them because what do they need Mike Conley for? They got Kobe White.
I was seeing because now he's allowed to go back to Minnesota. That's most likely what's going to happen. That now that he's been traded, rerouted to another team, he can now go back to Minnesota after the buyout.
That is insane. That is wild. But yeah, I think the Celtics could stand to get another guard. I don't know if it's going to be somebody quite like Ao Dosunmu, but that'd be nice. I know that you're really a big proponent of getting Ao into Boston. Think like the big thing here is the Celtics have, by lowering their where they're at, they got under the first apron, so they can actually sign somebody who has a salary over 14, who had a starting salary this year over 14 million. Looking at the possible buyout candidates, there really aren't a whole lot of guys that really make a whole lot of sense for the Celtics.
Chris Paul.
Fuck that. God no, please no. Although he'd probably shut up in Boston because like this organization's not a joke. But no, I'm good. I don't need that choke artist ruining Tatum's comeback. Absolutely not. But like Lonzo Ball is somebody that's gotten thrown out there, and he's quite literally been like the worst player in the NBA. Like he's been so bad. Like just 450 players in the NBA. He's 460th in field goal percentage.
It takes talent.
He's so bad, he's worse than the literal full amount of NBA players. He's ridiculous in how bad he's been. Maybe some of that's just like getting over the fact he's not played basketball in 47 years, but I'm good. Like maybe on a vet min, stick him at the end of the bench have him for like 2 years, like a similar deal to maybe like what Minot got. And you're like, we'll rehab him, and if he sucks, we'll just waive him at the end of the year. But I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening. But
the only guy who I think there's a chance could be bought out, and I don't think this player is nearly as good as. Oh, do we have a deal?
Kristaps Porzingis just got traded to the Golden State Warriors for the cum bucket and Buddy Hield.
Sure.
Jonathan Kuminga is free. Buddy Hield is an Atlanta Hawk as well, and Kristaps Porzingis is a Golden State Warrior.
He is a teammate of Al Horford again.
He is, and I don't think the Warriors or their fan base is happy about either of them being Golden State Warriors.
So, the thing that like immediately, not to completely pivot just because we have breaking news, I think Draymond's gone. Like this really starts to make they're trading Draymond things start to feel more serious.
Like, who would want him?
Well, I think he's salary filler in the Giannis deal.
Oh.
And then what, do the Bucks just buy him out?
Yeah, probably. Or they hang on to him just for the rest of the season, and then he hits free agency.
Do you have any interest in him if he gets bought out? He still defends well, but he is a problem child.
Yeah, he's such a head case that I'm probably good. But maybe Joe is so crazy that like
they'd get along. They would get along so well.
He might be the only coach that could.
Yeah, like I think there's a chance it could work just because Joe Mazzulla's enough of a maniac. Like if Brad Stevens was still the head coach, no. And I love Brad, the head coach, but no, that wouldn't work. Joe Mazzulla is enough of a crazy person that maybe it could work.
Yeah, what's Draymond Green doing taking 5 threes a game this year?
What's he shooting on him?
32%.
Yeah, I mean,
which
in Mazzulla ball, get ready to learn 9 threes a game, Draymond.
You're gonna jump those numbers up.
He's gonna get bought out. The Celtics are gonna sign him, and Joe Mazzulla's first thing he's gonna say about it is water will find its level, and Draymond's gonna go 5 of 7 from 3 in his Celtics debut.
Yeah. I do think with Vooch, though, it becomes hard to see minutes, especially assuming Tatum's coming back. Like, that front court gets very crowded very quickly if you add Draymond and Tatum into the room that already has, you have Vucevic, you have Kata, you have Hauser, you have Jaylen Brown, who's a wing, Walsh minutes, Baylor minutes. Like, there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen right now. Like, I don't... Like, the guy who I think could be bought out, and I think could kind of make sense as a bench piece, is Chris Middleton. Especially because he's such a Celtic killer. I think Middleton as, like, just a wing off the bench who can hit open threes could make a lot of sense if the Wizards do pull the plug on this thing. Like, I think Middleton's like the guy who could get bought out where I'm like, yeah, this makes sense to me as a Celtic. And he's obviously not what he once was, but like, could he be
Could
useful
probably stand to
15?
benefit from a reduced role.
Totally. I think I think like a 15-minute a game Chris Middleton could be an effective Chris Middleton.
Yeah, this year he's not having a very good season. He's only shooting 33% from three, which is well below his career average, but he is on the Wizards where he's like one of the only guys you could really count on to like actually shoot the basketball and sometimes make it. So I guess teams can kind of hone in on him a little bit. I don't know. I jokingly brought up Draymond as a buyout candidate, but like I'm talking myself into it in my head. Like I hear what you're saying about the front court thing, but I think with Draymond and why I think it could work, even with Vucevic in the mix, and like obviously you have Garza and you have Kata, is I genuinely think this is not me just grifting here. I think Draymond Green could be a more athletic version and much more polarizing version of Luke Cornett.
I can see it.
Just in the way that like he doesn't space the floor because he doesn't shoot well, but he's so quick with his decision making. He actually fills space very nicely. He's a great screener, great passer. He's a very good defender. Cornett was better around the rim and like
Yeah,
obviously
you're gonna lose that lob.
his weird Cornett contest thing, but like Draymond's a better on-ball defender and he's a better perimeter defender in games won and lost on the perimeter, and he is an irritant. Like for better or worse, he is an irritant. And like when you like right now, if the Celtics had a postseason series, they'd be matching up against Joel Embiid. The only guy I think that could actually like piss Joel Embiid off enough, the way he's been playing lately, which is like the most. I'm alleging it here. Like I think they switched out Joel Embiid's piss for Paul George's. And like Paul George got suspended, but it was really Joel Embiid's piss, you know? But they just changed the label because they're like, we need Joel Embiid bad. But I think it could work. I really do. And like again, not like he'd have to come in with the understanding that he is also only getting like 18 to 22 minutes a game, and he's old. But like if there's one thing that I will give Draymond credit for is he is actually like somebody who will sacrifice any sort of offensive role for sake of actually winning games. I think it could work. I'm not like rooting for it to happen, but if he gets bought out, I'd actually be very curious to see if the Celtics pursue him. I would be doing like the biggest switch up of all time because I hated Draymond, especially during that final series. But I do think it can work. And I'm not just grifting for the sake of throwing another bullet point up there. But I don't know. I do think Vucevic is an interesting player in how he'll fit in, and I think tonight's lineup more or less shows you that they're going to roll Vuce and Kata at least as the starting bigs. Maybe some matchups that double big doesn't work, and you need more defense or more rebounding. And I mean, Vuce isn't a bad rebounder; he gets 9 a game, but and you go with Kata for the more physical bigs. Or you need more offense. That's where you go to Vucevic, and then you roll like Shireman off the bench, and he gets an extended run or whatever. Or you need athletic, like a perimeter defender, and you go with Jordan Walsh or whatever it is. But I think it's an interesting trade. I'm curious to see what it looks like when all is said and done. I think it'll be kind of underwhelming now if the trade that was reported yesterday is actually the trade that ends up happening. I'm now kind of rooting for it to be a little bit more chaotic. I don't know.
It's the deadline. Give us all the chaos.
Yeah, seriously. And it's been nothing. Like it's been very, it's been rife with chaos. Like we have the James Harden trade. We got the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade. Like what is going on in Utah?
Anthony Davis.
Davis is a Washington Wizard. Like
with Trae Young forming the.
Yeah, he's forming an alliance with Anthony Davis. That duo for the 4 games they'll play together next year is going to be pretty fun, I will say. We got another Shams report. It's Trace Jackson Davis. I got excited for no reason. That's so lame.
Clickbait. And the OKC Thunder gave up a first-round pick for a player. That doesn't happen.
They have 15 of them this year,
but they don't do it.
Yeah,
they stockpile them all. Like, and I'm glad Jared McCain got freed, because it was getting sad watching the 76ers just bury him on the bench.
he's gonna do really well there, I think.
I do too.
Because he shot really well his rookie season, and obviously the injury ended what was probably going to be the rookie. He was probably going to win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
And now he's going to a role to a team where he's going to be he'll probably get some starter minutes. Maybe not right away, because Shea's out for the next couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks.
Him and Kaysen are going to split a lot of minutes there.
Yeah, so he might get some starting opportunities, but he's going to get into a role where all he has to do is go learn how to stand in the corner and spray 5 threes a game off the bench, and he's going to shoot 40%, and the Thunder are going to love him, and it'll be well worth that first-round pick. So it's sad. The rich got richer. Hate when that happens. Why can't rich organizations sign Isaiah Kiner-Falefa for $6 million?
Hey, it's the World Series right there. World Series run.
God, I made myself angry by saying that. Any trades stick out to either of you guys that you want to talk about? I feel like we got to talk about James Harden.
Yeah, I'd say that was probably surprised me the most.
I'm glad the Daryl Morey is a liar video is recirculating, because that really is one of the best moments in NBA history. is James Harden standing in front of a bunch of Chinese children explaining why Daryl Morey is a liar. And these people have no clue what he's talking about. Like, not only withstanding the language barrier, but I doubt these actual children understand front office NBA politics, even if it wasn't their native language. It's one of the most bizarre things to ever happen. And every time it keeps showing up on my feed today, I have to rewatch it because it's so fun. Because they're clapping and shit, and it's no one
Or it's let me educate you.
And the added layer of the whole Daryl Morey Hong Kong stuff makes the whole situation even funnier. It's one of the best moments in basketball history.
It's crazy how much James Harden is addicted to being the worst person,
He's kind of the Lane Kiffin of the NBA.
That's actually a perfect comparison.
Yeah, I can get behind that. It's just crazy. He has been given so many great situations, and he's how can
that
I?
He asked for. He asked for them every time.
He has never not gotten what he wanted, and I think that is crazy. There's that one. I don't know if I'm assuming you guys have seen that video of that guy on the Mavericks pregame that laid into James Harden, did not stutter once, hit every single point in rapid succession. He probably practiced that in the mirror 5 times in the morning. One of the greatest rants of all time. Nick Wright also had a very good one this morning as well. Not to give Nick Wright flowers, but when he's not talking about LeBron, he is actually, or Patrick Mahomes, he's actually a very good sports mind. I mean, he is when he talks about those two guys either, but it annoys me. But that's beside the point. I get why the Cavs did this. They're Darius Garland's fallen out of favor there, and I feel like that's kind of been a souring relationship since the Cavs lost to the Celtics 2 years ago in the playoffs.
Yeah. And he was invisible in that series.
He was invisible in that series. He's been hurt pretty much ever since. And when he does play, he's good, but he's not star caliber. And you need a star caliber player to pair with Donovan Mitchell. And I guess to a degree, Evan Mobley, even if he wants to just habitually be the same player every single season, maybe slightly better, but really marginally. And so it makes sense from that degree. But this guy has never won anything in his NBA career. What is this I can fix him mentality that front offices have, and especially the Cavs? I feel like you could have gotten somebody better. Maybe not somebody better, but somebody that won't self-destruct and like take the entire organization down with him.
Well, it's also crazy because I don't know if you've seen all the reports that like the next step is spending this offseason getting LeBron back to Cleveland, and that Harden's a big part of that push. And it's like this isn't going to end well for anyone if it does happen, because like Harden's going to get fucking pissed when he's the third option suddenly and has to play off ball, and then he's going to request another trade, and at that point who the hell is going to want him, because he's played for half the league at that point, and he will not play for the 76ers again because Daryl Morey is a liar. And
Sacramento. Does he go to Chicago West?
yeah,
He's got to go to the Bulls first.
Yeah, it's just like this guy, and obviously James Harden, especially in his prime, was a great player, an MVP, a guy who you could build an entire offense around because he was that good, and he could do a one-man offense for those years in Houston, before they got Chris Paul, and it worked, and they were a competitor and a contender solely because of him, in spite of his flaws as a defender and all his shortcomings. But it's just been like ugly the past few years, and like he just like begs for a situation, whether it was to get out of Houston and go to Brooklyn and then Philadelphia and then the Clippers, and like he just begs and begs and begs and gets his way, and then like after a year he's dissatisfied with his way, and it's like it's just crazy to me, like why teams keep putting themselves through this. Like at least with Kyrie, like Kyrie's craziness is like whether or not he's going to play basketball, but like when he plays basketball there really isn't a lot of craziness going on. But like with this guy, like it's just so many distractions and sideshows that like I wouldn't want anything to do with it.
I'd also argue the only time Kyrie ever like really nuked a situation was in Boston. And there was a lot of extenuating I mean, maybe in Brooklyn too, but like he stuck around for another year after the whole vaccine thing. So like, and the Nets were terrible. So like them trading him made sense. And if they were good and they were winning, he probably wouldn't have. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that because there is precedent of that in Boston. But like he had like his grandfather died that year. So like I don't know how much that like fucked his brain. I mean, he'll tell you how much it did. Like he was very close with him and he was very upset about it, but whatever. But like with Harden, sorry, not to say whatever. That was a horrible thing to say about somebody losing a loved one. But
get on to serious issues, the NBA.
Yeah, back to what we were talking about with James Harden. It's just, I don't know. Like the Clippers were winning games. And
all his
like
teams were winning games. The Sixers were winning games. The Nets were winning games. All these teams were winning games. And
he didn't even ask out of LA like a month ago before they went on this run. They went 18-5 in a 23-game stretch, and he's like, I want out. And then like he goes, I want out, and then he just doesn't show up to the arena. Like the Clippers are actively playing a game, and he's at ASU U of A. I saw the man on TV.
Request a trade.
He is. It's crazy how like he's probably going to go down as maybe the best player to never win a ring. Because I cannot see him ever coming through in a playoff series. Like he's always going to be too important for a team to be able to like offset him not playing well in a playoff series. I mean, we saw it in Philly. Like he literally was second fiddle to the MVP of the league. And him being bad was a big reason they lost to the Celtics.
It was maybe the biggest reason.
Yeah, that, and I mean, Embiid also no-showed Game 7, but like he was also hurt, as he often is. And Tatum scored 51 points. Like that was kind of like Tatum was not going to let them lose that game. But Game 6 was very much they had control. They were at home, and he, I think, went like 5 of 16 from the floor.
Yeah.
He's a loser. Like plain and simple, he's just a loser. And I mean that both in like the literal sense that he won't ever win and the literal sense that he just acts like a baby. And I don't know how teams keep bailing him out.
Right. And that's why, even though, like you said, if in that best to never win a ring situation, it's I don't even know if I can go there just because, at the very least, a guy like Charles Barkley didn't consistently embarrass himself on big stages. He just couldn't get the job done, or as much as
Ran to Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Or as much as he's a terrible, terrible human being. Karl Malone didn't embarrass himself on the biggest stages. Even Allen Iverson, for all of Iverson's flaws that are different than Harden's flaws, but there's also a little bit of overlap in the middle of the Venn diagram. Iverson didn't embarrass himself on those big stages the way that Harden consistently has. It's been rough.
Yeah. I don't know how he's I'm very curious to see how he just destroys the Cleveland Cavaliers from the inside. I honestly don't know. There's going to come a time where his antics get he ends up being held hostage. He makes himself get held hostage in a situation, and his supporting cast wants out. I could totally see Donovan Mitchell being the guy who does not want to deal with James Harden, and he asks out. I mean, maybe not
Yeah.
Or
but
Mobley
I could totally
too.
see that. Mobley, yeah. I mean, if they get LeBron, if the Cavs bring LeBron back for the third act at 712 years old with fucking sciatica and arthritis, Donovan Mitchell is going to be you are wasting the prime of my career. Get me the hell out of here. And that, the Lakers will probably get bailed out and they'll get Donovan Mitchell to fucking sign and trade or some shit. However that ends up working out, because the Lakers always get thrown a lifeline when they're mediocre. But yeah, crazy.
But they could bring back J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert.
They could
complete the trifecta.
Bring back Jay Crowder as well. What a
get
mess.
Doc Rivers to coach them.
That is the coaching tree version of the Sacramento Kings. Whoever Doc Rivers is the last stage of yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal. But yeah. Any other trades in particular? I mean, the Anthony Davis trade I think is really interesting because it's what are the Wizards going to do with that man?
They didn't trade their own pick this year in the deal, right?
I believe you're correct.
They're going to ethically tank. They're ethically tanking 1,000%. Anthony Davis and Trae Young are not going to play a game this year, and they're getting Debonsa, and they're completing.
They're going to be. Tank. They might be kind of sick if those guys are healthy though, because you're talking next year a lineup of Trae Young, Debonsa, Alex Sarr, and Anthony Davis. That is nuts for the 4 games that AD plays. But and maybe Chris Middleton if he's still alive. That sounded like a threat. If he's still playing basketball.
If we do not free Luigi in time.
From Alcatraz.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I respect their dedication to the tank and how obvious they're making it. I respect that.
No, this is the most ethical tank I've ever seen in my life. Let's get all the superstars who are hurt and just load up for next year.
Imagine that the Wizards win 70 games next year.
They got it. They've got decent players on their. I mean, who all did they get in that trade? I don't remember. I know they traded Malachi Branham, and who else did they deal for?
D'Angelo Russell.
Marvin Bagley went back to Mavs. Yeah,
and
D'Angelo
Middleton
Russell,
goes to Dallas, which is why I think he's getting bought out. Is that Middleton's
that's right.
in the Dallas.
That's right. Got to have to make the salaries work. Yeah, he'll definitely get bought out. But yeah, this deadline's been weird, man. I remember when the first couple trades came through and people were like, we got breaking news for this end of the bench trade on the anniversary of the Luka deal. And then it's Jaren Jackson Jr. is now on the Utah Jazz. And he'll probably mysteriously turn an ankle at practice tomorrow and never play for them either, because they're also ethically tanking.
We still got what? We still have 15 hours?
Yeah, 15 hours. Do we think the Celtics make any more trades, or do we think it's just finalizing this one and then buyout market time?
I think they're probably done unless it's
Yeah.
like some very small margin move. Either
Yeah,
to
I
like
can see
free
them.
up a roster spot, like they could just like trade a guy at the end of the bench for cash, or like a just like pure Boucher dump. Like that could totally be happening. Like I think if they make a move, it's a Boucher dump. Like I don't think they're making any move beyond that.
Yeah, you're probably right. One thing about the Simons trade too is I think the Celtics, like in the process of making this deal, added a TPE
They did.
for 27 mil.
Yeah,
So
because
like this
yeah.
offseason, they can go and sign a center and just fit them into the player exception.
Yeah.
Like in like a sign and trade, because they can sign like Nick Claxton to a $27 million a year deal and just fit him into the player exception.
Is he restricted or unrestricted?
I think he's unrestricted. I think he's on a second contract. Because he's making like 20. Well, no, sorry. He's not a free agent. He's on a extension, but he's making 27 million a year. So they can just trade nothing for him, probably draft picks, and just fit him into the player exception.
Or you just hold it and at the deadline next year or something if someone good becomes available. Because like I look at this free agent market and I'm like, yeah, this kind of sucks. But yeah, if you can make a move in the offseason, great. And if not, you just carry it into the season.
And the beauty of it too is because you can use parts of player exceptions, right? So like
as long as they're
only
not
making
back
23 million. Yeah. So
if they go back
only making 20.
They can't.
Gotcha. So I don't know what 23 million does to that, but Claxton's extension's front loaded. So he's only making 23 mil next year, which is interesting. So I think that might be an avenue the Celtics take. But again, I think that's a very interesting part of this whole process. Like again, Brad Stevens is a freaking G. I don't understand how he does it, but he is an animal.
I'm still like struggling.
Did we hit
has Brad ever like blatantly made a mistake as GM? Like I can't think of something where it's like
he's made moves that didn't work.
Yeah.
I feel like nothing was like
trade.
Catastrophic.
Yeah. Like the Nesmith trade, like if we're looking at just the Nesmith for Brogdon deal, I think in hindsight, the Celtics would rather still have Aaron Nesmith, but that ended up turning into Drew Holiday. So that like he made a mistake.
Have a championship than Aaron Nesmith.
Right. So they made a mistake, but then he corrected it. And like Xavier Tillman's been a disaster of a player other than the corner three he hit in Dallas. But like glue guy, they love him. Like you got to have vibes guys on the team. Like even his free agency, like Luka Garza is a good player for them. What? Like Josh Minot gave them very good minutes early in the season. It just doesn't make sense. Like everything Brad Stevens touches turns to gold. Like I guess there was some like shit about his drafting, but like Jordan Walsh has turned into a decent player. Baylor Shireman's turned into a decent player. Ugo's like getting consistent like 15 to 25 minutes a game.
He's the best rookie in basketball history.
Yeah, better than Tim Duncan. Crazy.
This was Rick Pitino's
I don't think
all along.
Brad Stevens is an animal. I don't know how he does it. I mean, maybe I shouldn't be as shocked because again, this was like literally how he brought Butler to like the freaking Elite Eight every year. So I'm like naturally expecting Nick Vucevic to shoot like 46% from three.
Double doubles every night.
Yeah, he's just not going to miss shots. It's going to be great.
He's also going to just like lock in on defense and be an elite rim protector.
You got Anfernee Simons playing like some defense. You're telling me Nick Vucevic can't average a block and a half a game?
Him and Nemi combined for like 20 rebounds a game, 10 each.
I mean, the way Nemi's rebounding the ball, That's going to be like when Kobe and Kwame Brown combined for 83. Like Vooch gets 1 rebound and they combine for 25. I'm excited for Vooch though. I don't think he'll probably maintain the average he had in Chicago is 17, and he's averaging 17 and 9 this year.
Yeah.
I could see that. That's probably going to be about where he's at with the Celtics. Maybe it dips a little bit when Tatum comes back, but I don't envision it being like 13. Maybe the rebounding, I think, might actually take the bigger hit because Nemi's going to grab most of them. And then when Tatum's back, Tatum's one of the best rebounding forwards in the league. So, but yeah. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up because it is midnight?
Got to make some predictions.
Oh my God, I did it again. God damn it. Give me a sec to get this.
I mean, can you really predict a loss after the JV squad just went out there and balled?
Well, the thing is that is now setting up for the ultimate letdown, but I don't remember who they're playing. The Heat.
Okay. Hey, all we need is Ron Harper Jr. to get...
The sentence ends at all we need is Ron Harper Jr. You don't have to keep going, Jamie.
You know? The new GOAT. Oh, we got a 12:30 game on Sunday. It's a little nooner.
Yeah, because it's Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, when the Patriots beat the Seahawks, is that game?
Yeah, we could throw that prediction in here because this is not a football podcast, but we can throw the Super Bowl predictions in here. We won't break down the game, obviously. It's midnight. And I have to be up in 5 hours. So anyway, this stretch. Okay, so if we're all talking about going to that Bulls game, should we just record after? Oh wait, never mind. That's a 10 o'clock game. Should we record Friday? So do 4 games again.
Well,
we'll do the day after the Warriors game.
The Warriors game's a week later. The Chicago game's the last game before the All-Star break.
Oh, good point.
Good point. Do whenever.
Good point. Let's do next Thursday.
Yeah.
So we're scheduling that now, so we can all attend the Anfernee Simons homecoming, where he drops 40. Anyway, so these 3 games the Celtics have in this stretch of play. We got the Miami Heat on Friday, 7:30 p.m. start time at TD Garden. All 3 games are at TD Garden. Super Bowl Sunday against the Knicks. Big game that is going to probably just not decide who the 2 seed is, but for the time being, the winner of that game will be the 2 seed probably. And then that game's at 12:30 on Super Bowl Sunday. And then the following Wednesday, the Anfernee Simons homecoming, 7:30 start time. Against the Chicago Bulls. Celtics right now are a season high 15 games over 500. Where will they be when we reconvene next Wednesday, Jamie?
I'm going 2-1. I think they beat Miami, lose to the Knicks, and then beat Simons after the minute tribute, and he gets his flowers.
How many points does he score? I genuinely think he's popping off for at least 30. If he's still on the Bulls, he's getting at least 30.
I feel like 25, like 5 threes. I feel like a 5-3.
30 points on 50 shots.
Yeah, he's getting a DeJounte Murray kind of game. Hopefully that doesn't include a game winner. I mean, they already got walked off by Kevin Herter this year, so I mean,
another potential buyout candidate.
Where is he? I think I traded the Pistons.
Oh, did he? Then never mind.
I could be lying.
He did get traded the Pistons, so yeah. He's safe.
I do wonder if there is any way that like Duncan Robinson gets moved though, because he would be, if he got traded, he'd be somebody I could see as a buyout candidate. Although he signed a multi-year deal, so I don't know if the Pistons would be eager to move him. But he would go nuts in Missoula ball. He'd take like 14 threes a game. It'd be ridiculous. Yeah. Every time he touches the ball, it is getting fired at the rim. Jack, where are we feeling the Celtics will be when we record next week?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Jamie here. I'm gonna tail him at the 2-1. I think they're gonna beat Miami. I think Miami's dealing with a lot of injuries right now. With Andrew Wiggins is out, Hero's out, Norman Powell's out, and obviously some of those guys could even get traded if Giannis ends up there. Giannis is out, obviously, though, so he would not be playing. And I don't think he'd even like get there in time with all the paperwork and shit. But so I think they're going to beat Miami on Friday night. That Super Bowl Sunday game freaks me out a little. The Knicks are hot as hell right now. I think they're on like a 7 or 8 game win streak. Everything's clicking for them. They were like going through it for a bit, and I wish we were playing them during that. But now, like, they're completely locked in, and I don't love that. And then the Bulls suck, and they're trading all their players who are good, and Josh Giddey is hurt. You can't convince me to fear these guys, which means they're going to lose. But I'm going 2-1, and the Pats are winning the Super Bowl, obviously. So Tuesday, we can all attend the parade.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I hope so. I wonder. I don't think my bosses will be okay with that. They'll all be there. But I don't think
Soft
I'll
launch
be
the
okay.
cough starting on Friday. Get like a little tickle and then like just throw it out over the weekend.
I don't know if I could pull it off, especially because I was off Monday because I was sick, and I was actually sick this on Monday. And I'm not just saying that because my boss might be listening to me. I was actually sick on Monday. But yeah, I'm gonna take I'm gonna take a sweep here. I think they're gonna win all 3 games. I think there's something about Super Bowl Sunday with a Boston team in it that's got me feeling like insanely dangerous. I think they're going to beat the Knicks. I don't know. I mean, it's really tough to predict that game too because like what are the Knicks gonna do with the deadline? Because that could change my whole opinion of it too. Like, I mean, again, if they add somebody that's high salary, not that like if it's Giannis, obviously same rules apply as Jack laid out with the Heat game. Would he even be available? He's obviously missed a ton of time. But like to trade for Giannis, you got to trade guys that are high salary, and that includes like Mitchell Robinson, who would absolutely eat them alive on the glass. Which is a problem. I mean, he will shoot 1 for 15 from the free throw line, but he'll get 25 offensive rebounds, and that worries me. But I still think the Celtics win that game. They're just the way they're playing right now. I know that last week it was kind of like they're kind of in a lull where they're win 1, lose 1, win 2, lose 2, win 4, lose 3, but they've won 4 in a row. I think they keep that. At some point, they're going to go on this massive run, and I think that they've started it. They're beating the daylights out of teams right now, and including good teams with your JV squad. So it's kind of hard for me to not be arrogant about it. I think they're going to win all 3 games and roll into the All-Star break on a 7-game winning streak and set us up for the first Steve Kerr hate watch of the season on the 19th. And I also have the Patriots winning the Super Bowl. I know, shocker, guys. The 3 Boston sports guys on the Celtics podcast picked the Patriots to win the Super Bowl. But which no-name Patriot do we think is going to score a touchdown? I have like my heart set on it being a Kobe Minor pick 6.
Oh. That's
I mean, it's not a no-name by any means, but I think the thing that will determine whether or not they win or lose this game is Marcus Jones. I think if Marcus Jones makes a big play, either on defense or on special teams, because his improvement as a defensive back this year has been incredible because he's always been that guy as a returner. Like from minute 1, you knew like this guy is maybe already the best returner in the league. But his improvement as a defensive back has been huge, and obviously he had that huge pick 6 earlier in the playoffs. But I think if he makes a big play, they win the game. And if he's completely held without a big play, they probably don't win the game.
I got a weird mark. Go ahead.
I was the O-line too. If May gets hit, because I think he's got hit like 15 times so far. If he gets hit a lot, then I feel like would be a very long afternoon if they can't protect him.
For sure, especially with the way he's been putting the ball on the ground, although he didn't against Denver, which is impressive, even if that was probably at the expense of a few plays. But I have a bold prediction for this game. I think Marcus Jones takes an offensive snap.
I wouldn't be surprised.
He hasn't done it all year, and he has a touchdown in his career as a wide receiver. I'm not saying he's going to score a touchdown, but I have a feeling he's going to be out there for an offensive snap. I mean,
Josh is going to do at least 2 weirdo sicko things in this game.
Yep,
especially because he's been very restrained this postseason. Like,
that flea flicker against Matt Collins, I'm like, you're a little psychotic for that, but it was.
And that was great, but that was like really like the one like unhinged McDaniels play call this postseason. Like, I miss when he played Shane Vereen at right tackle for enough snaps to make John Harbaugh cry. Still one of the funniest games ever. And it's ruined the sport that now you have to declare eligible receivers because they made John Harbaugh cry that night with the Nate Solder touchdown. But that was one of the best games ever.
Yeah, my two. I know you said you think he's got multiple like tricks up his sleeve for this game. I genuinely think it's Marcus Jones' offensive snap. Again, it'll probably be a design screen for him. Maybe they don't actually throw him the ball. But I also think Stephon Diggs throws a pass.
How long are we predicting it goes for?
I don't know. I mean, the last time the Patriots played in the Super Bowl, or no, it wasn't the last time they played in the Super Bowl, because that was when Edelman went nuts as a receiver. But like, we've seen a wide receiver throw a pass in the Super Bowl by a Patriot. I mean, I think Edelman's thrown a pass in multiple Super Bowls. I know he did it at least against the Falcons. Did not complete it, but he did throw a pass.
Yeah, and they tried, obviously, the pass to Brady in the Eagles game that did not go well.
Still hurts.
Right. I think Amendola threw that one.
Yeah.
But, oh no, I'm thinking of the double pass back to Deion Lewis that Miles Jack forced the fumble on. That still pisses Jags fans off to this day. But anyway, that's beside the point. Again, not a football podcast, but we all picked the Patriots to win the Super Bowl. So we'll see if we're right. And Drake May will win Super Bowl MVP. But anyway,
it's not the schedule's fault that they won.
Yeah, I wonder what people's excuse will be. I hope that Drake May just completely copies Jayson Tatum post game and goes, "What they gonna say now?" And does the "We did it."
I know some people there's people be like, Sam Darnold was really never that good, or there's gonna be someone that's gonna use that probably.
Yeah, I think I saw that one of the Seahawks like top defensive players left practice today with an ankle injury. I'm like, it's already starting. This is beautiful. I love it so much. And Sam Darnold obviously has the oblique injury, but anyway, enough. I want to go to bed. So I gotta get up in 5 hours and drive to Connecticut. So pray for me. But that'll do it for this edition of the Hour Back Report. Again, episode 16 for Jamie and Jack. I'm Jordan. Until next time, peace out. Go.
We did it.